How about that late summer market, y'all? How about that late summer market in Dallas, Fort Worth? What's happening with prices? What's happening with Courtney just rolling a microphone across the countertop? What is happening with buyers and sellers and mortgage rates? What is the status, the situation, the state of the market, folks? We're going to get into it. We're going to take your questions. 214-310-0008. That's 214-310-0008. Before we wrap the show up today, we might talk about why J.Lo and old, what's his name, Ben Affleck. Why Ben Affleck can't sell their house.
I love talking about pop culture.
We did so much.
We should do way more of that.
If this show is known for anything, it's known for
getting your
talking
news
about pop culture.
Yeah, old AI and pop culture. We talked a little bit about celebrity combo names during our massive show prep. Hey, folks, we're going to talk about why some homes sell and why some homes don't. But I know for a fact that there are many people watching and listening right now that don't currently need or even want to buy or sell. So we're also going to talk a little bit about enjoying your home as you've got it, or the dream of home ownership. So buying, selling, enjoying, protecting, all those good things. But we are going to talk a bit about the late summer and what changes in Dallas-Fort Worth this time of year, because it does, maybe more so than any other time of the year. So we'll talk about why that is and what that is. We'll also talk about how to, if you are a buyer, how to really, really, really benefit from the late summer market. We want to tell you a little bit about the Summer Fun Guide. Ian, if someone did not currently have a Summer Fun Guide, what should they do?
Well, first of all, it's unexcusable.
I don't know why you wouldn't have
as to why you don't have one. We've been telling you for like 6 weeks at least, maybe 2 months. But
you're missing out.
If you're one of those people that, has procrastinated on getting it and they've missed out on some of the things that was in there, which are incredible, you can still get it. Go to toddandmoneyteam.com.
That's right.
On the very top of the page, there's a little banner. Click it.
Yep.
And then from there, you'll be able to get a digital copy.
Yep. And you'll get about half of the value of the Summer Fun Guide because you've missed half of the summer from the Summer Fun Guide. Now, there's still a lot of great stuff in there, and it's completely free. It's our gift to you to enjoy your summer more here in DFW. Go to toddandmoneyteam.com. Click that banner on the top and get your free digital Summer Fun Guide. If you're one of our friends, neighbors, or clients, you should have already got one in the mail. If somehow you didn't, we have about 9 left in the office. Swing by, holler at us. We'll get you one. The first segment of this exact very right now show is brought to you by Patrick Glaros and his team of mortgage pros over at ABC Bank. You can go to patrickglaros.com, Glaros. That's Glaros, patrickglaros.com. He's the only guy, only person, only pro my wife and I have ever used for our personal mortgages. He's the only person I intend to ever use in the future because he's the best. He will help you learn, educate you through the process about all your options and what to do with the cash and payments and borrowing and leverage and growth and jumbo loans and regular and government-backed loans and all the different options for land and first home, second home, investment properties, all of it. They'll walk you through the process, make sure you're comfortable, factor how that fits into your wealth building and your financial situation, and then help you achieve your real estate goals, whether that's that goal of home ownership or investment or wealth building or debt reduction. PatrickGlaros.com. That's where I go. I think that's where you should go. PatrickGlaros.com. Okay, folks, we got a lot to get to today. Ian, I know you're on the phone with lots of our buyers and sellers, lots of our radio listeners, YouTube viewers, all those folks. And this time of year, we get asked a lot, can I still buy or sell before the end of summer? And the answer is sort of, yeah.
Sort of, maybe, kind of, possibly.
So what are you telling people right now?
Yeah, sort of, maybe, kind of, possibly.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Kind of the answer.
Why is that the answer?
Depends on the situation, right? So for the most part, we've got, let's call it 6-ish weeks until most schools are back in session. Which, by the way, my kids are already complaining that they only
feels
have 6
gross
weeks.
to say it out loud.
6-ish weeks until school's back in session. Now, if you have cash and you can close pretty quickly, you're in a great spot.
And to
you
be
can
clear,
still get a home.
If you have cash, you should be able to close pretty quickly. Couple of weeks.
If you're having to do financing, it's a little bit longer, right? I mean, we have said before on this show, and we tell people all the time, Generally speaking, you're looking at about, from the day you go under contract on a house, approximately 30 to 45 days for a close.
Yep.
Earliest, generally speaking, is right around 30 days. But you also need time to be able to get your ducks in a row, get your finances in a row. You need to be able to find the property. And it's not a matter of just going and finding it in that first weekend. Can that happen? Yes, it can. Especially when you've got a group of and a team of people that are saying, hey, let's have conversations on the front end to make sure that it is as quick and as painless as possible. We don't have to go and see 50 different houses, because guess what? You could go and see 50 different houses right now. Mm-hmm. You'd be wrong to do so.
Yep.
But because you just end up being confused.
Yep.
So you need to give yourself some time. And if you're saying it's a 30-day close, you're basically saying that you've got about a week to get everything in order and go find the home, because you don't believe
and have no delays.
You do not want to move into that house the week school goes back.
And to use the timeline you just gave, you're moving in the week before, maybe
first week of August, maybe
now,
beginning of the second.
So the answer is yes. You still could buy before the end of the school summer. As far as selling goes, I would say you're pretty darn late here. Now, it can be done if your home happens to be totally ready and you're financially ready and you're strategically ready and we have a conversation today. It's possible to have your home on the market by next weekend. Now, I do not encourage people to rush into getting their homes on the market. Our team typically gets homes up within a week or two. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer because we put together a strategy that requires or expects a little bit of preparation on the front end in order to get your home sold quicker or for more money. But it is possible to sell before the end of school summer, but we're running out of time. We're talking our margin right now are hours or days, certainly not weeks and definitely not months. But we used to do a big but segment on the show, and it's a good one.
I missed it.
Selling after the end of the school summer is not a bad thing. And I want to share in just a minute, not right now, but in just a minute, a great home buying strategy for after the end of the school summer.
Well, and just to talk about like how long it's taking right now to sell properties, the average days on market in Plano, I just took Plano, really, 300,000 to any of them. You can take any number. They're all in that 35 to 50 day range.
So almost any price point in Plano, Texas, which is generally representative of, a lot of the areas that we work, desirable areas where people really want to live all across DFW.
Your most popular price points in Plano, as in popular being the most number for sale,
action,
are really 300 to 700.
That's what I would have guessed.
And that is going to be 40 days, 45, 40, 41.
Okay, so let's just call it 40-something days is when a seller puts their house on the market until that house closes and funds. Okay? So
no, gets a contract on it.
Okay, you got to execute a date. Okay. So we're talking at least 2 to 3 weeks after that for closing and funding for most people. And you can sort that date a couple different ways. The point we're making is now you're looking at, 2 months. Just from when it goes on the market to when it closes and funds. Now, we're still guaranteeing to sell houses way over the average price and way under the average time, but those averages are, prices are actually up most places, flat some, down just a tiny bit in a few places, but days on market is up. So if the average is 44, let's say, and we go sell it in 24 or 34, you still need that closing time and all that jazz. So we're just trying to give you a realistic outlook. It can be done. It's less likely to be done. But when the school summer ends, the real estate market does not end. And one of the advantages I recommend for buyers, you got a thought?
Well, I wanted to remind people, especially if you're a seller, because I think a lot of sellers we still run into at times, still have this mindset of what it was in the height of COVID in that 2021, 2022, when we were talking about, hey, we've got a week and a half of inventory. We have enough homes where if nothing else came on the market, it's gone in 9 days. Right now, we have over 4 months. And that's a big difference. Like, that is no longer a, quote, seller's market, right? That is a middle to a buyer's market. You're edging towards the buyer's market with those
which
numbers.
Would mean the buyer has more leverage than the seller.
Because there's more properties on the market.
I call this the murky middle, where you have a little bit of both. One street to one street, one neighborhood to one neighborhood, 1 week to 1 week. But to Ian's point, statistically speaking, We're not in that post-COVID market where sellers can just call their shots and get whatever they want.
So if you're a seller, you can't just be sat at home thinking, we've got plenty of time, we don't need to go and do something right now because our house is going to sell immediately. That's not the case right now.
Right. And the best thing to do is have a conversation with the pro. And we'd suggest you have a conversation with one of our pros at the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team. Call 214-310-0008. You can talk to an agent, a specialist, we call them a marketing specialist, about how we guarantee, even in this market, to sell your home over the average price and under the average time. Meaning for more money than other agents and teams and brokers are getting their clients, your neighbors, and faster. More money and faster, guaranteed. ToddTremontiTeam.com. You can Google my name, Todd Tremonti, and see over 800 5-star reviews. And you can hear it from someone other than us. We're obviously biased, but we're biased because we spent 20 plus years, as our 20th anniversary year as a team, working together with specialized agents, a full proprietary marketing system that we built just for DFW sellers, as well as our 13-point buyer program that we built for DFW buyers. I know you hear a lot of ads from a lot of people, many of whom don't even live here. Their business models weren't built for here. When you're thinking about selling and you want to talk timeline, you want to have that strategy session before you really get going, you cannot have that conversation too early. But sadly, most people wait way too late. Just call or text. There's no pressure. You don't have to buy or spend any money. Start the conversation. Get your ducks in a row. Get a plan going. Get a strategy set, even if it's a strategy for next year or next month. You'll sleep better. You'll feel better. You'll be more responsible with your family and your resources in your home. 214-310-0008. You can call or just text the word strategy to 214-310-0008. Just save this phone number in your phone for any real estate needs you have, residential. 214-310-0008, or just go to ToddTremontiTeam.com. Or like I said, if you forget all that, just Google Todd Tremonti. You'll see tons and tons and tons of options. Call any phone number, text any number, fill out any form, click any button, chat, whatever. You can communicate with us whatever way you're comfortable. But the best thing to do is just to have a conversation with one of our team members in real time, and we can help you put a plan together. Plan for today, plan for tomorrow, plan for next year, plan for when the kids move out or when you retire or whatever the case is. But having that conversation now will be a huge advantage to you, whether you're trying to figure out this summer, next summer, or retirement or downsizing or whatever the case is. 214-310-0008 or ToddTremontiTeam.com. And if you don't know what your house is worth right now, if you don't have a pretty good idea of one of your primary investments' current value, what your equity is, what you could borrow, what you could sell it for, I think that's a little bit irresponsible. I'm not attacking you. I'm not saying you're crazy. Even if you have no plans of selling anytime soon, my guess is you're probably not going to cash out your retirement investments soon either, but you probably have an idea of what those are worth because that's a responsible financial thing to do. We've built a tool for you that's actually really accurate, and you can find out what your house is worth in less than 60 seconds. Courtney, how long did it take you to find out what your house was worth when you went to ToddTremontiTeam.com and you clicked the home valuation tab?
I mean, I think it was like 54.
Yeah, 40-something, 50-something seconds. Under 1 minute at ToddTremontiTeam.com.
Maybe it was the 40s.
And you just click home valuation. There's a button that says home valuation. ToddTremontiTeam.com. Okay, now, Courtney, let me invite you into the conversation.
I'm ready.
This is sort of a Courtney Learns Real Estate segment, but it's also pop culture with Courtney.
Yeah.
Who are we talking about and what are we talking about?
Well, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, $60 million.
Also known as Bennifer.
That's right.
Once known as Bennifer.
Their $60 million mansion.
Can we pause for a second?
It's tough.
It's more than just a mansion.
It's actually great.
It is. I love it because it is cozy. Like when you look at the pictures, and we're going to put some.
Well, hold on. I said it's more than just a mansion because the article specifically says
marital.
It's their marital mansion.
Yeah, this is their. Who knows what number home?
That's not alliteration because you need 3 for alliteration, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Magical marital mansion.
Magical. It's magical.
Oh,
It was
okay.
magical for about 10 minutes.
No, it's $1 million marital mansion.
How many millions though?
60.
60 millions of dollars. Now they've
3
done this a
M's.
few
Maybe.
times, so maybe that's why
They've done it a few times.
Maybe that's why the house thing is what we're talking
The
about.
marriage thing.
Yeah, the marriage thing. The whole. It's not as magical as it was before.
It's
Anyway,
a great house.
We don't see a lot of celebrity houses that we're like, oh, they're all like awesome in the way that $60 million homes are awesome. But a lot of them were like, it's gaudy. That's ridiculous. Who needs that? I don't need this one, but it's slick.
It is so fabulous. It's been on the market for a year and they're taking it off and
it's gone.
It's gone. And my question for you, Todd, is why won't it sell?
Okay. Let me give you two both really honest answers.
And then I'm going to give you some numbers to try and back you up.
Sweet. Appreciate you. All right. Number one is, I think it's in, where exactly is it? Like Brentwood or something?
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills. I don't live in Beverly Hills. I'm not an expert in Beverly Hills. So my first brutally honest answer is I don't know that market super well. So I'm certainly not commenting on the local market dynamics. But I can speak broadly to this type of house, and then I'll give you a second answer. So my broad answer is it's pretty darn tough to sell any $60 million residential property. Reason number one, not a lot of people can afford a $60 million home, even in Beverly Hills, right? So realistically, that is a very, 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 very
small
tiny
group of
pool of buyers. So that's obvious. You didn't need a real estate broker to tell you that. Number two, though, is the thing you may actually struggle to understand, and this applies at a lot of price points, is if I have the money and the borrowing power to buy a $60 million home, I kind of am in that unlimited funding category, right? So it's like, well, if I have $60 million to buy your
Where else
$60
can
million,
I buy?
I can kind of buy any $60 million. I could probably buy 70 or 80 million. I can probably just build whatever the heck I want. So now the level of scrutiny and the particulars of a buyer are like, this is a great house, Bennifer, but I don't really want my pickleball court to have a sitting area right next to it. And I don't want like westward sun on it. So I'll just pass. So the level of like, I can have anything I want and don't compromise is kind of in the $60 million category, right? Now, reason two is kind of the reason any home doesn't sell, right? And that's when the person selling it doesn't fully understand who the prototypical ideal buyer is for that home and doesn't effectively market to that buyer. And this could be true at 600,000, not 60 million, right? So at 600,000, someone who can afford a $600,000 home has obviously got a more than adequate housing budget. Now, that used to go further than it currently does, but a person at 600 doesn't have to buy your house. They can go buy a $500,000 house. They can buy a $600,000 house someplace else. And a lot of sellers make this mistake of just assuming all homes sell, and if it's nice and it's clean and it's pretty, that it should sell. And the reality is, lots of homes don't sell, and lots of homes don't sell for their original asking price, and lots of homes sell for less than they could have sold for if they were appropriately marketed. If the person marketing and selling it, the owner and their agent or broker, truly did a customized analysis of who's likely to buy this house, right? Is this the type of home that's likely going to be a commuting executive? Is this a larger family type home? Is this a single? Now, we have to be careful. We have to respect fair housing, and we're not going to discriminate and attract anything. But you got to critically think through who's most likely to fit this house, want this house, be able to afford this house, be attracted by this house. What are we showing them about the house? What are we telling them about the house? And this is a house that often when marketed is just sort of like this eye candy, and it's intended to just be like, who wouldn't want this house? Well, lots of people would want it, but can't have it. And so those are some reasons that homes like this don't sell.
Todd, it has a separate 5,000 square foot penthouse, caretaker house.
Yeah, that's not the house. That's the house for the people to operate the house.
The outhouse.
Yeah.
I just can't. This is an unfathomable level of life.
All right. You remember about 10 minutes ago, I said that sellers need to remember to not live in the times of the craziness of COVID in that kind of 2022.
Yeah, mentally. To not mentally live in a runaway extreme seller's
2023 market. Was still kind of that. And, first half of 2023 was still, way different than what it is today. It was
late
starting
22
to cool a little
mortgage
bit.
Started moving, and it moved enough by mid 23 that it was the world changed hard.
They bought it in May of 23 for 60.
Yeah, 60 millions of dollars.
0.8 million. Mm-hmm. A year later, they listed it for 68.
1 year later, sorry about your third nuptials? Third time? I don't know.
So
I've lost track.
Then
How many people has J.Lo
they
married?
slashed it by 8 million.
We're not going to slut shame.
Whoa! I would like to give a disclaimer that WBAP and the Todd Tremonti home selling team and Todd Tremonti, and by the looks of it, also Ian Daniels, do not support that message. That was clearly not the intent of the segment. I wasn't shaming anyone. I'm just saying maybe I wouldn't have bought a $60 million home.
I think they
that
thought,
early.
Circling back to the whole deal, that it was forever.
God, Ian's really struggling to recover from that. I mean, I can't say I'm all the way back myself, but my point wasn't about what you said. It was about
keep the show spicy.
If you're $60 million is a big purchase. They're not easy to sell. We ought to be a little more thoughtful maybe about diving into that investment. Ian, back to you and the numbers. They bought it at the peak of the market, tried to sell it 1 year later, which is about the most dramatic 1 year in real estate borrowing and selling and values, certainly in California, in a very long time. Like peak late 22, early 23 to like rough mortgage slide of late 23, early 24 was a big stinking difference. Like a lot of people saw mortgage rates triple.
So in May of this year, they took $8 million off the price. So it's actually listed for less than what they purchased it for.
Right.
And now it's been taken off the market.
Yeah. They're just going to let it breathe a little bit. I hope someone uses that pickleball court while it's off the market.
Oh,
it's pretty slick. Okay, folks.
The sitting area, the parties I could have at this house.
Okay. Hey, if you don't know what your house is worth, what you need to do, and I mean need, like you should know what your house is worth. It doesn't matter if you want to sell it or refinance it. It's wise to know on, like, say, a 30-day rolling basis. If you go to toddtremonti.com, you click the home valuation tab, it'll tell you what your home would sell for right now. It'll tell you your equity right now. You can update information if you want and get hyper specific. And then it'll just email you once a month with an update. This is what your equity is this month. This is what your value is this month. It's up, it's down, it's flat. It's up a little, it's up a lot, it's down a little, it's flat. And you can track your equity. And if ever you chose to sell, you could ask questions about that, or you could ask for a cash offer and all that stuff. Just go to toddtremontiteam.com, click the home valuation button, and all that literally happens in under a minute. And then you have to make no effort whatsoever to get monthly updates, to be heads up about one of your most significant assets. Now, also another way to protect one of your most significant assets is to have a home warranty. I do recommend them, especially when you're buying, and I recommend that most people keep a home warranty on your home. It's different than your homeowner's insurance, but it's a really nice little supplement to have for your basic systems in your house, appliances, plumbing, electrical, things like that. And when done right, and most people don't do this right, most people and most companies that provide them don't do this right. I want you to check out Trinity Home Advisors, trinityhomeadvisors.com, or you can go to toddtremontiteam.com, click the radio tab, and get all the information on Trinity Home Advisors. They have a different, better approach to protecting you and your home with your home warranty. Not only do they have a different business approach and a different funding model so they can help advocate for you, they're also going to help you maintain your home well so that when you need the warranty, you will get approval on that warranty claim. TrinityHomeAdvisors.com, or go to ToddTremontiTeam.com, click the radio tab, and get all the contact information for our friends over at Trinity Home Advisors. Now, when we come back after the break, are people being like handcuffed to the suburbs? Are they stuck? Did people move to the suburbs and they can't get out? Is this a thing? We'll be right back. Quick time out. Hey, if you're enjoying the channel and this video and our content, we have hundreds of other videos on real estate content, buying, selling, specific areas, seasonality, and all that good stuff. Check this other one out. What's up, party people? We are live in the Trinity Home Advisors studio. We're talking all things residential real estate across DFW. The first segment is brought to you by Patrick Glaros and his incredible mortgage team over at ABC Bank. The only mortgage lenders I ever used, Courtney. Only mortgage lenders my wife and I have ever used. You just don't need another one when you've got... Oh, sorry.
No, I'm working with them right now.
That's right. You guys are working together.
To do what?
None of your business.
The radio world doesn't need to know about.
He's wheeling and dealing. I've been looking at another investment property. Probably not going to happen right now, but I've been looking at another one and pinging Glaros and his crew. PatrickGlaros.com for all your mortgage needs. Now,
NMLS number 308804.
You know it, Courtney? You know his NMLS number?
No.
308804. PatrickGlaros.com. Okay, folks, we talk about all parts of DFW, and week by week, sometimes we focus on one area or another because we want to make sure not only do out-of-town folks that may be catching us either live on the radio or the podcast really understand how great and how complex isn't the right word, diverse DFW is when it comes to areas to live and property types and price points and communities and all that good stuff. But there are times that even local folks don't really fully grasp how many different options you have, not only to live, but to visit, to hang out, go play golf, go out to eat, whatever. I want you to know about Fairview, Texas. Fairview is absolutely one of my favorite parts of all of North Texas, all of DFW. And a lot of people are kind of unfamiliar or like loosely familiar with the boundaries of Fairview. It's very much in that northeast Allen pocket, south of McKinney, Princeton-ish, west of Princeton, Lavon, in between Allen and McKinney generally. It's a jaggedy boundary, right? So I'm not going to give you necessarily a bunch of highways and things, but east of Central, north of Allen, south of McKinney and Princeton, a really cool, not terribly large, really cool pocket there. And it's got to be one of my top 2 favorite neighborhoods in all of DFW. It's got some old, mature, cool, welcoming feel to parts of Fairview. And then there's some very new retail, awesome new construction parts of Fairview as well. Ian, if I come to you and I say Fairview, what comes to mind?
I think there's a lot of really good shopping very close to it or within Fairview. Like, it's technically Allen, but you've got the outlets right there, literally across the street from Fairview.
Right.
And then you've got like a ton of other things that you can do in and around there.
Is it y'all ever go up there? You're not terribly far from there.
Yeah, we're pretty close to there. We're in and around there.
You have any favorites up there?
Nothing that can jump off the top of my head.
Okay. There's a lot of our kids' friends live real close. We live not that far. And there's some food spots that like the high school kids like to kind of go up there and hang out. Courtney, when I say Fairview, Texas, what comes to mind?
Honestly, I'm learning.
Okay.
Because I don't know much about Fairview.
I love it.
And it sounds...
you guys are kind of illustrating my point that Ian lives pretty close. You live close enough, but not like in the backyard. And there's not a ton of familiarity. And so I love this because I think there's a lot worth learning about in North Texas. I mean, all over North Texas, but especially in Fairview. So Fairview is highly, highly regarded for nice homes, a lot of larger lots, a very clean, fresh, inviting community. It's well run. Lovejoy School District is pretty much the Fairview, one of the big Fairview draws. And so there's a lot of people moving into kind of newer homes up there, really enjoying great schools, great restaurants, great shopping like Ian was talking about, some big box stuff, massive newer shopping centers. But again, also some kind of cool, older, sleepier is probably not the right word, but charming is the word I'm looking for there. Retail as well as like just the essentials. And then you can easily get to Allen, Plano, McKinney, Princeton, Lavon, Wiley, Murphy. You know, you can easily get over to Frisco. You can easily get up north. You can easily, you're right on 75 Central, so you can get down into Dallas for, big sports.
I was going to say, the area of Fairview that we're in and around the most is that kind of Stacy and 75 area,
right,
which is predominantly restaurants and shopping and things like that.
Yep.
But it's like north side of Stacy, Fairview, south side of Stacy, Allen.
Yep.
East side
is
it's like that whole west side is Allen. So it's like it's all right there, and so it's hard to sometimes differentiate. Oh, I cross the street and I'm at Fairview.
I think a lot of people think of it as Allen a lot of times because it's kind of wrapped around the outlet malls and that big Allen retail, and there's that Fairview Center's not Allen, but it feels very much the same. My favorite spot, for those that want to know, my favorite neighborhood in Fairview is Timberwood is what I call it. It's such a kind of quiet, small pocket that most people don't refer to it kind of by neighborhood name. But you're talking about kind of Angel Parkway, dead ends into it, Angel Parkway and Stacy. It's like drops in elevation. There's some movement, some up and down in there. There's no two lots that are the same. There's no two houses that are the same. Everything's got size as far as like a half acre or more. That it tend to be larger homes, but they're not all these big battleship show places. There's real charm and class and uniqueness. There's some kind of quirky ones in there. The lower lying ones have big mature trees. The higher lying ones have some cool views and things. That's one of my favorite places, literally in my top 3 neighborhoods in DFW for sure. Maybe top 2. So Fairview is highly desirable. There's also some really cool, there's a great golf course there. There's a 55 plus community right near that golf course that like people kind of need to know about. We're talking about Heritage Ranch. By need to know, you should check it out, especially if you're considering a 55 plus community or anybody you know. And then if you're just looking for cool, maybe under the radar, it's a known golf course if you're a big time golfer.
It's a great course.
If you're not a big time golfer, that's just kind of a cool pocket over there that a lot of people don't know. Okay, let's get into some specifics about Fairview. I've got a statistic here, Ian, that I would have seen coming, but it's fascinating how accurate it is. Okay, so you look at home values.
Yep.
Why don't you comment a little bit about neighborhoods? And I've got an observation on the homes on land that I would love to share.
Yeah, we look at kind of the last 6 years of neighborhood homes, and we're going to say under an acre.
And the reason 6 years is an interesting timetable is because it's basically COVID and beyond.
Kind of pre-COVID.
Yeah, just barely before.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Because that first year of COVID, we didn't see what we saw in the next couple of years.
Right.
So you got pre-COVID, through COVID, post-COVID.
Yep.
It's interesting. In 2020, your average home price, and you've got a similar number of homes for sale. It's kind of in that 80 to 120. In 2020, it's 360K.
Yep.
21, 443.
Yep. Big jump.
22, 520.
Big jump.
23, 510.
Totally predictable. We're seeing it all the way across the market. Basically flat, little bitty drop.
24, 520.
Little bitty bump.
25. So this year, currently, 439.
Right. And now, current statistics, anytime we give you 2025 numbers, we always caution you.
Yeah.
That's unreliable because you're only seeing probably
giving you the first 6
data
months.
through May, maybe not even June. And so you're missing a lot of the heat of the market. So that number will probably average up by the end of the year. But what you're seeing is it was jumping. And by the way, when we say COVID, we mean the COVID real estate market. We mean that crazy. Right. It went flat and then it skyrocketed.
Solid 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah, so you're seeing that 360 to 443, 443 to 520, big jumps. And then you're seeing mortgage rates change, the world change, economics change, kind of flat for 22, 23, 24. And then year to date, 25 down. But my prediction by the end of 2025, that will feel either slightly down or flat. Now, let me tell you how different the homes on land market
is. Can I illustrate one other thing on that?
Because
when we were talking about, again, to re-emphasize and reinforce what I said earlier about sellers, in 2020, the average days on market was 31 days. Mm-hmm. Then we went to 6, to 12, to 13, to 26, to 34.
Yeah.
So we're actually the longest days on market currently so far this year through the first 6 months than we have been since 2020.
But not crazy a lot more than it was right before, right in 2020, right?
2020 was 31.
Yeah.
But it's such a big difference between 21, 22, 23 when you were talking the average there was 9.
Yeah, you got down into single digits.
And now
my point is to say we're only now back at the pre-COVID number, which was a pretty solid, stable market.
Yeah, a lot of people are still living in that 9 day.
Now, let me show you homes on land. And Fairview is well, I shouldn't say well known because we're kind of talking about how often people don't really know a lot about Fairview, but in the real estate community, I love Fairview for homes on land. There's some absolutely gorgeous properties in Fairview that are on a half acre or more. Lots of the 1, 2, 3, 4 acre properties. And I mean like generational, don't sell that house, leave it to your kids. This is an incredible property type place. 2020, the average price for a home on land in Fairview was $740,000. Obviously, these are higher priced homes typically. 2025, 1.48. So you almost exactly see a double. I mean, that is exactly double, but that's the average, right? So your average price has doubled even in the market where a lot of areas have kind of gone flat. So from 2020 to 2025, for small acreage property in Fairview, we went 740. Look at this jump, Courtney, to 1.2 in 1 year. 740 to 1.2. Then we went 129, 123, little bitty dip, 138, back up, and 148, back up again. So we did almost all of that doubling in that post-COVID market where people were like, I'm out of here. I want space. I'm working remote. I can afford it. I want to live in a beautiful place surrounded by beautiful places with great schools, with great shopping, with great retail, but I want to be kind of out on the edge. I want some trees. I want Fairview. And they went and got it. And then since then, we've gone from 125 to 148. Yeah. Fairview is one of those markets where people are kind of going to get what they want. It's a really incredible market that is a goal for a lot of people. Like to get a little further out, get a little more land, get a little more house, and just love where I live. And I'm telling you, pretty much everyone I know who lives in Fairview, and I know a lot of people that live there, absolutely love it. I mean, you just don't hear complaining about Fairview, Texas, folks. So that's kind of the value stuff. We talked about some of the misunderstandings about Fairview. We talked about the location, but there are more homes on land there than in a lot of DFW areas. It's a big chunk of that market. And as you know, we love homes on land. Days on market is still pretty darn low there compared to a lot of other surrounding markets, which just tells you it's still a competitive, desirable market. And there's about 3 months worth of houses on the market in Fairview right now, which is still kind of a seller's market, not a crazy seller leverage, but sellers have pretty good leverage there. And it's a good time to be getting in there because home values haven't gone crazy lately, but they're still on the rise. There's no reason to think they would go down. And I'm just telling you, if you haven't driven through Fairview, Texas, if you're local or you're visiting the area, holler at us. We'll gladly go and tell you and show you Fairview, Texas, partially because we like driving through Fairview, Texas, also because it is a heck of a place to live and work and play. Check out Fairview, Texas. Okay, lots to still talk about, lots of questions. 214-310-0008 if you have questions about your real estate. If you would like to buy or sell and you're looking for a team of world-class professionals that are full-time, fully dedicated, and specialized. Our agents only work with buyers or they only work with sellers. And if you're doing both, then you have two agents. It's kind of like going to court and you have a whole legal team. You have specialists for different parts of what you're doing. Of course, we can connect you with great mortgage, insurance, inspectors, appraisers, surveyors, and help you make wise choices. Your choice, but we can help you do that when it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate right now. 214-310-0008 or online at
DutchMoneyTeam.com.
All right, Courtney, there's a lot to talk about. What's on the tip of your tongue? There's this rumor going around that people could be trapped or handcuffed to the suburbs.
Well, I mean, I guess I wanted to talk to you about how this back to the land movement.
Okay.
And people
I see what you did there.
Everyone wants out of the suburbs, but no one knows how to get out. And we just feel stuck. And Is it your rate? Is it that you wouldn't even know, or you can't dream of a bigger life? Are our dreams too small, Todd?
Okay, hold on. We got warning. We've used a lot of absolutes. We're going to check in.
And now this.
Right now. Okay, Courtney, I'm going to pause you on everyone and never and no one. I don't think everyone wants out of the suburbs, and I don't think that no one knows what to do. But I get what you're saying. There's real momentum. And there's a lot of people that desire to be on a larger lot, on a little more acreage, maybe a bigger house, maybe just more non-house lot things, pools, and
what about just leveling up?
Yeah,
and that feels like space.
So what I want to speak to, and I think is the root of the question, so I want to make sure I'm getting this right, is a lot of people have that desire, but a lot of them are not fulfilling it. A lot of people kind of want to get a little further out, get a little more space, get a little more privacy, a little more freedom, whatever that is that they desire. But There's a whole bunch of people that have that desire and they're not doing it. I think that's the root of the question. And I like the phrase back to the land, right? So if you're familiar with the back to the land movement, if you went to look it up, you would see references to a back to the land movement in the 60s. You would see a reference to the back to the land movement in the 70s. And then you would see some kind of subtle late 80s movements. And there's a little bit of a back of like a homeschool community back to the land.
Is it like we went too hard in the paint on the sprawling?
Well, I would say there have been several rounds of going too hard in the paint for different things, right? So like in the 2008 market crash, people were going hard in the paint on just bigger house.
Yeah.
Borrow all you can, get all the house you can get, and then, ooh, shoot, maybe I overborrowed or overbought, and we had this little bit of a reset, right? I think where we are now is more of a cultural, lifestyle, anxiety, exhaustion, overwhelm vibe. You feeling any of that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Is that real or just, I'm not, that feels like a good read on what's happening out there in the world right now. And a lot of those people are saying things like, man, I don't want to escape my city. I don't want to escape the community or the culture, but man, I'd like to get a little breathing room, a little space, a little tiny slower pace, like a little bit of rest and reprieve and a little retreat, a little escape situation. So that's kind of the back to the land movement that I see happening. And the kind of the headline of our topic here is handcuffed to the suburbs. I think there's people that are like, look, suburbs are fine. I'm not mad at it, but I would really like to get a little more suburban, little more land, a little more space. And I don't really know how to do that. So speaking to that, there are some people that feel handcuffed by their mortgage rate. They're like, man, I got a 2.8% rate. I don't really want to go do that at 6.5%. And I would say, look, that might be the right decision for you financially, but it also might be the right decision for you, like your mental health, your family, the environment that you're bringing up a family and cultivating a marriage and cultivating friendships and rest and recovery and education and all those things. And I do think, this is going to sound crazy coming from a real estate broker, I do think often people overemphasize the financial terms of homeownership and underemphasize all those other ones. The family bonds, the place of safety and security, the rest, the recovery, the place that you escape, the place that you build relationships, the place that you take care of your health, mental, spiritual, financial, physical, all those things. And so if that's a burning desire for some people, yes, we have strategies and we're often helping buyers right now get into homes at lower rates than they think are possible with Patrick's help over at Patrick Glearis, the mortgage guy. And also by negotiating for sellers to buy down and pay for mortgages to be lower for our buyers. We're doing that all the time. Gibson was on the show recently talking a bunch about that. But aside from even that, and I'm not saying waste money, but I'm saying let's reevaluate the non-financial value of being in the right home in the right place at the right stage of life for you or your family or your finances or your friends. So I understand there are people that are making that decision, and it's not a family decision. It's not a financial decision. It's not a marriage decision. I get that. There's a wide array of these decisions, and we're not here discriminating in any way. We're here to tell you it's okay to make that decision on the reasons that motivate you, that break your heart, that light you up. And if you feel trapped, whether it's in a condo or the suburbs or the country or anything, let's have a conversation about how we can get you out of that metaphorical trap. Maybe it's not immediate. Maybe it's putting a plan together to make that happen in a year or two. Maybe it's that you don't realize you could do that in a week or two.
Yeah.
Give us a call. Let's just talk through that. No pressure. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to commit to anything. 214-310-0008 for the Todd Tremonti home selling team. We guarantee to sell your home over the average price and under the average time. We guarantee to save you at least $5,000 throughout the buying process. And maybe right now for the people we're talking to, we guarantee to listen. We call it a free strategy session, but we really do a lot of listening. It's a consultative deal where we ask a lot of questions and we just listen. But we're also willing to talk. If you're like, hey, is this possible? Could I get this for that budget? Could I get this for that payment? Could I get this time of year? Could I wait until the kids graduate? Or could I do this as a single person? Or could I do this with a partner or whatever? We can just have that conversation. You don't have to make any commitments or spend any money. You just got to invest like 90 minutes and we will gift you 90 minutes of our time as the expert. Just call or text 214-310-0008. You can text the word strategy, 214-310-0008, or you could just go to toddtremonteteam.com, click any button, fill out any form, chat with a chat device, call, text, whatever's comfortable for you. But I would encourage you to just get on the phone or Zoom with one of our people. They're not going to force you or pressure you to do anything that's not right for you. We'll be here whenever you're ready. We've been here 20 years. We'll be here another 20 years. toddtremonteteam.com or 214-310-0008.
That's the takeaway I want people to have, is like have the conversation. Our team is so good at like hearing where you're at and figuring out what's possible.
Sometimes like almost too much, where it's like, okay, now it's time to tell some people to, hey, get off the fence. Let's go. Like, you're ready.
Fine.
You can do it. But certainly we have hand-selected, trained, and equipped some really caring, awesome people.
I got two things for you. One, DP Lambert, my man. Give
Love
him a
DP.
call about your home insurance, your auto insurance. Spoke with DP this week. We've got some renewal stuff coming up, and so he's helping me with some of those things, as he always does.
Every year.
He has saved family members, friends, ourselves, like so much money over the year, and that is something that we would all
We were talking with a roofer yesterday about how people don't know their coverage changed. If you don't have a great agent, you're not going to know. dp.lambert@goosehead.com.
214-614-8595. And number 2,
Okay.
I sent a message to our team this week, and the message said, if you are not closing your home at Republic Title,
Why not?
here's what I need you to do. Because we don't get all the information sent to us like we do from Republic, because we work with them so frequently. They know what we need. They know when to send it. They know the urgency that some of these things have. And I was like, hey, I need you guys to be communicating to other title companies the same things, because they just don't act in the same way.
Don't work like grown-up
They
professionals all
don't
the
do
time.
the same things that Republic do time in, time out. Learn everything that Republic Title offer at republictitle.com.
Okay. Hey, we're looking for a couple of really awesome people. So if you're listening, if you're watching, if you're reading this someplace, I could use a favor. I could use a favor of a conversation with you, or an introduction to your friend, your family members, your neighbors, maybe a coworker who's really great, who's like super sharp, hardworking, really committed, cares for people, and who celebrates other people winning even more than their own personal accolades. Really competitive and likes to win, but likes to win where others benefit. I would love to have a phone conversation personally. You can talk with me. You can talk with Ian. We would love to connect with some folks that either want to work with us on the Fort Worth side or the Dallas side. Either one is an option. We're one team in 2 spots, but we're looking for some really great people. We've got a lot of opportunity. We're going to personally mentor Ian and I, these next couple of people that join our team, and we're ready to do that right away. Give us a call, send somebody our phone number. You can go to the website and go to our careers page, 214-310-0008, or toddtremonteteam.com. Would love to chat with you about joining our team. And of course, if we could help you buy or sell, it's toddtremonteteam.com.